Hey, reading lesson time on Wednesday, hump day, April 1st. So my paper, I've run out of paper, so this is on the back of, you can see one of our class messages on the other side of it. So try to see this purple with me. I've written 2 sentences. I want to read the first one with you first. I drew a picture to illustrate my sentence, but I want you to see something about this sentence that stands out to you. Okay, so let's read it together. The sock on the dock began to tick tock. So here's my water, here's my dock. A dock is something that comes out over water that people can stand, and maybe they fish on off of the dock, or maybe it helps them get to their boat. Sometimes people just sit and look out at the water, but that's a dock. So the sock is on the dock, and the sock is saying, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, what is something you noticed about that sentence? What's something that stood out to you? I'm giving you a second to think. So I'm thinking some of you might have immediately said, oh, I see some of our sight words. The, on, the, and to. Those are our sight words. Did you notice began, B is in there, B-E is in the word began. Words are scrunched in other words. Remember that? So we always want to look for chunks of words that we know that can help us read the rest of the word. Because we might look at that word and say, oh, that's a big word, I don't know. But if we start looking, we see B, A-N. What is A-N? An, right? So B, an, and then all we have to do is put that sound in the middle. B, G, an, began. That's how we read, right? So that might have been something you noticed. You might have noticed that there were some rhyming words in there. I think a lot of you probably noticed that. Sock, dock, and talk, right? Sock, dock, talk. That's cool. Now there's one more thing. Look at these rhyming words, okay? And tell me what you see that they all have in common. There's sock, there's dock, there's talk. We could even look at tick. What do you see that they all have? CK, a CK. Do you remember last week in the morning messages when we were doing our blends? That was one of our blends, a CK at the end of the word. We don't see it at the beginning of words. We see it at the end of words. And when we see a CK at the end of the word, it's always ka. It's not sa, and it's not ka. It's just ka, okay? Sock, dock, tick, tock. So that was kind of fun to write a sentence, a silly sentence with rhyming words, and then illustrate it. For a challenge, you might want to try that. See if you can come up with a silly sentence, and it can be any kind of, well, we do these in class all the time together. It's kind of fun when we have all of us together to do it. But you could say the hat on the mat is, or you could go back into our classroom favorite, down by the bay where the watermelons grow, back to my home I dare not go. Get ready to finish. For if I do, my mother will say, did you ever see a pig kissing a down by the bay? Maybe you could come up with some of those today. Okay, I've got another sentence though. This one I did an illustration. This one has a CK word in it. Another rhyming word with sock, dock, and talk. But I didn't do an illustration because I immediately thought of a song. So I thought I could sing it with you. I don't know if you'll know this song. I feel like maybe some of you will. I don't know. We'll try it, okay? It says, Jesus. What's that word? What's that word? Jesus is the, there's our ok. So what's the first sound? Rock. Rock. Jesus is the rock of my, and that's a big word, salvation. 3 syllables, salvation. So this is just saying, the Bible talks a lot about Jesus being the rock, our rock. We know a rock is strong and steady and doesn't move, right? So Jesus is how we are saved. Salvation is just a word for being saved. We talked about a savior, a saving, saved. We need a savior. Jesus is the way that we are saved. He's the rock. All right, so here's your song. Jesus is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. Do you know this one? Jesus, I started too high now, I can't sing. Jesus is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. Jesus is the rock of my salvation. His banner over me is love. His banner over me is love. I was just thinking as I was singing, I think we've sang that. I think we've sang that in class a few times. Anyway, anyhow, try some rhyming words. Try some down by the bays. Try silly sentence and an illustration. Just do something to help you have fun and learn to read. And I can't wait to hear about it. So you got to tell me about it or send me a picture or a video or anything. I would love it.